This is Assassin's Creed Codename Hexe, the most mysterious, most unsettling, and potentially most important game Ubisoft has made in years. And if the rumors are true, it's going to be nothing like what you expect. First, let's be real about where we've been. Back in 2017, Assassin's Creed Origins launched and completely reinvented the series. New combat, a sprawling open world, actual RPG mechanics, it was a breath of fresh air. Then Odyssey expanded that even further, gave us ancient Greece and added branching dialogue choices. And then Valhalla took the whole thing and somehow made it bigger, longer, heavier. 3 games, 3 massive RPGs, hundreds upon hundreds of hours of content. And here's the thing nobody really wants to say out loud. A lot of people didn't actually finish them. And not because the games were bad, but because after a certain point, the sheer weight of the thing just flattens you. Side quests bleeding into more side quests, skill trees inside of skill trees, a story that could end but just keeps going. Valhalla was reported to be over 130 hours for full completion. I mean, that's a part-time job with better graphics. So when Mark Alexis Cote, the series VP and executive producer, confirmed that Assassin's Creed Codename Hexe will not be an RPG, no dancing around it, I nearly fell out of my chair. Because that's not a small statement. That's Ubisoft looking at 6 years of RPG-era Assassin's Creed and deciding to walk in a completely different direction. On purpose. After Shadows, which was still very much in that RPG tradition. The RPG era isn't being retired because it failed. It's being retired because something new needed to happen. And Hexe is where that something new begins. Which immediately raises the obvious question. If it's not an RPG, what exactly is it? To understand where Hexe is going, you have to go back to that teaser trailer, because they had a great amount of information in it. The trailer opens with a shadowy woodland, dark, cold, the kind of forest that looks like it makes its own weather. The camera drifts through the trees and eventually lands on what appears to be a small talisman. Twigs and twine, shaped into the Assassin's Creed logo, hanging over a fire. And at first glance, you might think that's just atmospheric game reveal stuff, mood boards and vibes. But then the end card hits, and that same talisman is placed over an inverted pentagram, surrounded by what turns out to be the alphabet of the Magi, a real 17th century occult writing system. The community, because of course they did, immediately decoded it. The outer ring? Old German. Translation, we work in the dark to serve the light. Which, if you're even a casual AC fan, you recognize immediately. That's the Creed. That's Ezio's line. That's been the franchise's heartbeat since Brotherhood.
We work in the dark to serve the light.
But the intersection of the symbol, that is where it gets interesting. 3 words encoded inside the pentagram. Decoded, they read, Mephisto, avenge this house. Mephisto, a demon from German folklore. Avenge, house, or family. Put that together with the codename itself, Hexe literally translates to witch in German, and the picture becomes very clear. We're likely heading to the Germanic witch trials of the Holy Roman Empire, sometime between the early 1620s and the mid-1630s, one of the darkest and most chaotic periods in European history. And now, you know the world. But let's go ahead and talk about what this setting actually means in practice. The Holy Roman Empire during the witch trials wasn't just dark in the dramatic sense. It was genuinely terrifying. Mass hysteria, neighbor turning on neighbor, superstition and religion wielded as weapons, thousands of people accused, tortured, and executed, many of them women. The institutions that were supposed to protect people were the ones doing the hunting. For an Assassin's Creed game, this is extraordinary territory. The Templars don't even need to try very hard here. The whole world is already a machine of control and fear. And what makes this even more promising is that Hexe is reportedly going to be a smaller, more focused game. Not Valhalla's coast-to-coast epic sprawl. Closer in scale to Assassin's Creed Mirage. Tight, deliberate, dense with meaning rather than content. That matters actually a lot more than it might seem, because a horror-adjacent game built around dread and atmosphere only works if the world feels inescapable. You need walls, you need pressure. An open world with 600 towers to climb breaks immersion. A focused, suffocating world builds it. Every design choice here is pointing in the same direction. They're not building a playground, they're building a trap. And you, somehow, are going to be put inside of it. But here's the confusing part. We still have no idea who the protagonist of Hexe is. Or do we? Leaks suggest that we play as a new female protagonist named Elsa, and the more you sit with that, the more interesting it gets. Think about the setting, the witch trials. The people who ended up in those situations weren't powerful warriors or legendary assassins. They were ordinary people, accused, cornered, desperate to survive in a system that had already decided they were guilty. Taking the role of someone being hunted rather than doing the hunting would be an enormous departure for the series. And it would be one of the most emotionally honest things that Assassin's Creed has ever done. Now, add to that the team they've assembled. The script is being written by Christopher Grilli, who previously worked on Assassin's Creed Origins, and directing the whole project is Benoit Riker, who you might know as the director of Batman Arkham Origins, a game specifically praised for its mature themes, strong storytelling, and genuinely dark atmosphere.
Let me go! If you insist.
These aren't people who make shallow experiences. Riker has also worked on Transference, an experimental psychological thriller that was deeply unsettling in the best way. He knows how to make you feel unsafe inside of a game. The team matches the assignment, and the assignment is clearly something heavier than anything this franchise has ever attempted before. So, let's circle back to the big question. If Hexe isn't an RPG, what is it? The honest answer is that nobody fully knows yet, and that's both exciting and maddening in equal measure. But here's what we can piece together from everything available. Stealth is almost certainly staying. That much is core to the franchise DNA. Also, supernatural-like witch abilities to fight the Templar threat are speculated, but without RPG mechanics, gear grinding, and skill trees defining your power level, stealth becomes less of a playstyle option and more of a survival necessity. You're not choosing to be sneaky because it's fun. You're being sneaky because the alternative might get you burned at the stake. The horror elements everyone is speculating about make perfect sense in that context. When you strip away the power fantasy, the health bars, the overpowered builds, the gear that makes you basically invincible, what you're left with is vulnerability. And vulnerability is the foundation of horror. Add in an atmosphere like the witch trials, add a protagonist who might be the hunted rather than the hunter, and add a director with a proven track record for dark psychological storytelling, and suddenly, you've got a game that doesn't feel like anything that's come before it in this series. Not classic Assassin's Creed, not RPG Assassin's Creed. Something genuinely new.
Oh my god.
And look, Ubisoft has been going through it lately. They've been navigating restructuring and expanding partnerships in recent years. The company is at a crossroads in a very real way. Hexe isn't just another game on the release calendar. It's a statement about what Assassin's Creed is going to mean going forward. Get it right, and this franchise gets a second win that it genuinely deserves. I mean, yeah, it is a lot of weight to put on a game we've only seen 30 seconds of. But honestly, based on everything pointing in the same direction, I think it's a weight that they can carry. Assassin's Creed Codename Hexe might be the darkest game this franchise has ever made. And right now, that might be exactly what it needs. But hey, that's just what the clues are telling us so far, and knowing Ubisoft, there's probably another 17 secrets buried in that teaser that nobody has decoded yet. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. And honestly, are you relieved the RPG era is ending, or were you actually okay with the 130-hour grind? If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Because when Ubisoft actually shows us more of this game, you can trust me when I say we'll be all over it. Thanks for watching.